Morning. How you doing? Well, I'll tell you about last week. I was in the park while my kids were playing and I got to sit in the sun and people watch, which I love doing. And I saw this little girl, she was about 2, she was playing with a ball while her mum was also had a chance to sit down. Then over there was a group of black men lying out in the shade. They were like wearing paint overalls from they were probably on their lunch break from a local construction site. Then this little girl's ball rolled over to the workman and he got up and he called to the little girl. He says, "Come here." It was clear that he wanted to play. I held my breath. I thought, uh-oh, she might be scared of this man. But to my surprise, she gave him a winning smile. She ran over and she started doing what he instructed her. He said, "Kick it to me, stand back, hold your hands out, throw it to me." She wasn't scared. Instead, she was giggling and chatting and completely at ease. And in that moment, I felt awful. I just realised it wasn't just that he was a man, but it was his skin colour and ethnicity that made me think that she might be apprehensive. What was that about? I had once again had to check my bias, my race assumptions. I would never consciously think that. It horrifies me to think like that. But somewhere deep in my unconscious bias, having grown up in this society, being where I am, being white, this is what my reaction was. And my goodness, it's really hard to admit. Surprisingly, in today's gospel, we also see Jesus is the one who is surprised. I'm going to say something controversial here, and I think that we today get to see the racial bias that Jesus has. Can we even say that? Jesus is a bit racist? Well, let's look at the story and we'll see. It's that story about Jesus who is on his way with his disciples when a Canaanite woman, now the Canaanites and the Jewish people, they hated each other, and she has a daughter who's sick, so she shouts at Jesus on the road and says, "Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David." But Jesus ignores her. His disciples say to him, "Send her away. She keeps shouting at us." And Jesus says, "I was sent here only for the lost sheep of Israel." Now, in this context, this means the Jewish people, not those Canaanites. Nevertheless, she persists. She kneels down before him and says, "Lord, help me." He says, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." And she quickly retorts, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table." And this is like the pivotal moment. And Jesus then says, "Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed instantly. What to make of all that? Well, in the past, preachers have said that Jesus was talking playfully with the woman, maybe joking and being affectionate. Or others have said he was using this as a teaching moment for the disciples and for the woman. And he didn't really mean what he was saying. Like, he didn't really mean to be calling her a dog. It was just like using it as an example of what they would say and just using it back on them. But what if? What if this story is one when actually we are called to be surprised? Surprised at Jesus's own surprise. Maybe it's not about Jesus being playful or giving a teachable moment. No, here is a place where even Jesus, the fully human who is learning, is growing, even Jesus has to check his privilege. Even Jesus excludes is biased is racist. Even if Jesus can get into that trap, and if he does, of this unconscious bias, if even Jesus can other and exclude, then my goodness, what does that mean about us? What does that mean about me? If Jesus can do it, what about me? Doesn't it mean that I have to take a long, hard look in the mirror? Doesn't it mean that even if I like to think myself as anti-racist or anti-sexist or whatever, it's not good enough? It's not good enough just to think like that to say, oh, and that's not me. Jesus shows us that we must keep our assumptions in check. We must check our privilege. We must keep listening, keep looking, be willing to be surprised. And what if, wasn't that what Jesus did? Because he didn't send her away. Did you notice that? He let his compassion change him. This woman who's kneeling before him, begging him, and then he saw her. He noticed her humanity. He let himself be surprised. He let himself be changed. Through compassion, through Jesus' openness to the other, this is what shows his full divinity and his full humanness. What if the most fully divine part of Jesus is also his most fully human? Maybe that's part of what God is up to in Jesus. When we proclaim that Jesus is both fully human and fully divine, maybe the divinity is the fullness of the most best possible part of humanness. Given all the options, all the choices, that Jesus follows the most divine way of being as the one who loves, the one who welcomes the outsider, the one who sees all as equal, who sees all and welcomes, the one who includes, the one who delights in each and every person and creature and sees the divine spark and gift in all things. Maybe that's how we work for the kingdom. We work for heaven. We look to become the most fully human we can be. Amen.